Hey everyone, today I'm going to go ahead and finish up the Antler lamp project that I've been working on for the past couple weeks. There's only a few things left to do, and that includes finish wiring in the lamp kit, which is real simple, and then go ahead and cut off the screws where I screwed the antlers together and fill those holes. What I'm going to be using is a 2-part epoxy, and that's what's going to go ahead and hold the stud in for my lamp kit up here at the top, and I'm going to show you how to do all that. So first we're going to start off by taking this little piece out, is what I call the stud, and what that does is it's going to go over the wires and it sits down inside here, and then the light socket, go ahead and screw right down on top of it. So that way it sits right there. I like my socket to sit pretty close to the antler as possible, so that we don't got a lot of gap there. So now what I need to do is go ahead and pull this wire back down out of my way a little bit. And I'm going to drill a little bit bigger hole there so this can go down in there a little bit further. Now you just want to make sure you get your wire out of the way, otherwise you'll mess it up with the drill bit. Okay, so now I got this where I want it. I'm going to go ahead and epoxy it in. The stuff I use is called Antler Sculpt. It's a two-part epoxy. Been using this stuff for a while. It seems to work really good. I like it. So you just take 2 equal parts of each one, and then you just mix them together real good. Okay, so then I'm just going to take some of this and wrap it around the end. Try not to go over the hole, because that's where the wires are going to come through. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is take my Dremel with a cutting blade, and I'm just going to cut these screws off. Okay, after I went ahead and cut that screw off, I took the grinding wheel and I ground the screw down a little bit, so that way when I put some of my epoxy in there, it's got a little bit of something to bite to. And it's also easy because then you can just take your hand and kind of smear it over like you're going over the top of a hole, and it usually hides it pretty good. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just wetting my finger and I rub it over that epoxy, and it makes it nice and smooth, almost like the feel of the antler. Okay, so that one's done. So the very last thing I'd have to do right here is just give that a little bit of color, or you could even leave it just like that if you wanted to, but I definitely going to color mine to the same color as the antler so it hides it completely. Okay, now that side's done. So the very last thing I like to do before I finish wiring up the socket here is I like to put a level on it. And I like to make sure this thing's nice and level. Okay, now I'll give that epoxy about a half an hour to dry, and then I'll go ahead and finish doing the wiring, and we're all set. Okay, so now that this epoxy is hardened up, this thing ain't going nowhere, I can go ahead and finish this part of the lamp. Make sure you put this piece on first. This goes over the top. Okay, so now when you do the socket part here, the way this works is you're gonna see on your cord here, you're gonna have one section that's ribbed on one side and one section that's bare. The section that is ribbed up here, you want to make sure that one goes to your silver terminal, and the one that's not ribbed, which is just a smooth surface, is going to go to the gold terminal. Okay, so now the wiring's done. I'm going to go ahead and put a light bulb in it and we'll test it out. And it works. Now the last thing I'm going to do is just take some acrylic paints and I'm just going to paint over these little spots real quick, just to give it a little bit different color there to hopefully hide those just a hair bit better. Okay, so I got the antler lamps all wrapped up here. Everything's painted, touched up. The socket's all wired in, and you're ready to go. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, and I'll reply to them as soon as possible. Again, I want to say thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe.